Amanyina requaja eno. Amanyina requaja eno. Yetu yena yebekobyo. Yeshua munyansa yebemubyo. Yanu ebibirime. Yeah. Yanu ebibirime. Yeah. Muyirimu. Yeah. Muyirimu. Yeah. Para. Enimkwase mpata bibirimo. Yeah. Unendinga marikwaya from you.
Joy 99.7 FM. Joy 99.7 FM.
When in doubt, Lumba. Can I beat a bit of Lumba? But we started with a powerful song from Efrimamu, which I think is a really, really powerful song. If you pay attention to the words and the lyrics in that song, It's a great advice to all of us. But playtime is over. Well, you know the rules of the game. Say after me. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. I'll say that again. Okay, let's go. Well, folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Well, hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. My name is the one and only Nana Ansah Kwao the Fourth, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwamu Edumasa. Uncle Ebo says it's the only republic ruled by a chief. There's always a first time. Well, welcome to another episode of That's My Opinion, our favorite ritual performed only on Joy 99.7 FM. Make it a point to join us every Monday right after news night. I'll drop a track or two. Abeku Sankofi, my son, is on the ones and twos. And then after that, I will come. I make a note on this date, 1st September, because after my pitch, I would tell you what's happening. 1st of September, Saturday, 12 noon. So make a note. I'll give you the details. Folks, today I am going to be a professor of anthropology. I will go deep into sociology. And so I definitely need your permission to venture into areas that probably I am not fit to go, but I have to. Folks, and I will look at us and how we deal with our problems. Folks, I'm going to go deep to look at us and how it is that we deal with our problems. And our topic today is in the absence of guilt and shame. That's our topic. In the absence of guilt and shame. Yes, it's a deep one, so I would want your undivided attention so that we can deliberate after, and I hope that all my silent listeners, particularly those who did sociology, those who are deeper, would call into the show, and I don't know whether it's an argument or share your point, but I really want us to start this conversation. It's probably one of those ones that are too big that will just, you just listen to it and forget about it. But it's worth that at least once in a lifetime, this issue is brought on the table. Folks, every great nation achieves greatness according to a calculated plan, which they work hard towards to. They sacrifice towards to it. They go through pains towards it. Great nations have thinkers who don't dabble in everyday politics, but go behind the scenes and they go deep to the understanding of their people, the psyche of their people, and they lay out policies that will shape them for the future. Even those unborn, they will make policies that would shape their thinking and how it is they have to develop. Folks, even the growth of the nation, the number of new birth is not left to chance. Even the number of women giving birth is not left to chance. I will be It's calculated. Great nations solve problems that will come in 50 or maybe even 100 years' time. So by now they are sat on the table anticipating that in 50 years' time there will be no water, so let's do this. In 100 years' time, the sun will be too hot, so let's do this. I mean, they are thinking 100 years' time, because for today, they don't have a problem to solve. That problem is being solved by their great-grandfathers. And so when nations are dabbling on problems that they will have to solve in 1985 and problems that have to be solved in 1990, that nation is in trouble. But folks, there's wisdom in our ancestry. And as it will come out in today's show, it's a fact, and we've heard it before, that once upon a time we were a very moral and just people. And I'm sure you've heard the saying so many times that in the olden days, if you left your bunch of bananas outside, it will rot. So no one was going to come for it. However, today, if you even have it hanging on the tree and you don't take care, by the time you get to the farm, it's gone. You come to the cities and our walls are just getting higher and higher, and we are fencing ourselves and barricading ourselves in our houses. We are not as safe anymore. But pay attention here, folks. By divine creation, all races have a unique culture attributed to them. How they deal with their problems. And anthropologists will say, if you want to know a culture of the people, you have to look at how they solve their problems. And life is all about solving problems day in, day out. You're just constantly solving problems. If you don't have problems in your life, you're dead. And as common as it may sound, it's not very much discussed. Now, if you have followed the show and you have heard me say that the biggest taboo of the African was shame, one of the things that we feared the most was shame. And so if you followed me, you've heard me say that. Now, we as black people, folks, operated on big shame, moderate fear, and very little guilt. That's how we were formed originally. We worked on, the whole family was, protect the family name. If you're going to get married, go and ask if even somebody's ever had mental problems in that house. You're not going to go there. It was all about the public image and shame. We protected that to the point where they said, you'd rather better off dead than to be ashamed. We have a moderate amount of fear and very little guilt. Folks, this worked fine until we started conventional schooling. We started to study science. We now wanted to know why. And with many things, we, never sat down to analyze the consequences of our new form of education. And so while the new breed of were sending our children to the missionaries, they didn't understand why they were so worried about shame. Forget about shame. Our major religions too were, had a very heavy undertone with foreign cultures, Western undertone, since it was being preached to us by Westerners. And these are the two major ways of indoctrination. So by the time the African finishes Sunday school or mosque and comes out of, university, he becomes European in mind and very sympathetic towards his own race, just sympathetic towards Africa. So don't worry, Friday, you can put on a Friday wear, but all the others, if you want to look smart, you got to look like a Westerner. And then Friday, a touch of sympathetic, GTP, and then you're gone. But maybe another day we'll go too deep with this issue of sympathetic African. But today, let us look at how the West, folks, the West, naturally, they have a culture of guilt. They operate largely on guilt. Very little fear and very little shame. So a white child will, come from school and tell the parent, Dad, today I was read to Mrs. Dawkins and burst out crying and run to their room. Teenage girl will come home, meet his parents. Oh, Tom broke up with me today, me, and run to his room. It won't happen here. That Ama will come from school and come and tell, his father that, you go to your room. Are you serious? That wasn't us. Ama will be very much ashamed to even let his parents know that, at maybe 16 or 17, she was dating and, the boyfriend has even dumped her. She'll be ashamed. Meanwhile, the same age, Jane will feel even guilty that she hasn't even told her mom that, look, she'll come. As soon as they come from school, come and say, look, this is what happened in school today. Tom broke up with me. Ran to her room crying. Someone would turn up late in London and say, sorry, I overslept, I was late, and I deserve everything. If I have to be fired, fire me, whatever it is, I overslept. Folks, they operate on guilt. So out of their own guilt, they come out to confess. Irene Wuronos was a woman serial killer. Walked to the police, confessed her own sins. Look, I've killed so many men. I killed this person. Took them to wherever she buried everybody. That was them. David Cameron was the Prime Minister for Britain. And when they were having a referendum as to whether Britain breaks away from Europe, he campaigned to say, no, we shouldn't break away. That Britain should stay. When the results came and they said, yes, they were going to leave, he says, you know what? I resign. I campaigned to say no. So if the results have come and they say we should stay, that's it. I'm going. So generally, the guilt culture, relies mostly on the conscience of its people to regulate wrongdoings. Now, when you come to Africa and Ghana in our case, because we are more concerned about what people will see, things down out of sight could go free. And so our forefathers put fear clauses in most evil actions that could be done out of sight. If you go to sea on Tuesday, you will see strange beings who come out on the surface to rest. And if they see you, you are in trouble. If you do A, B will happen. If you do X, Y will happen. So with this fear, plus the risk of public shame, we kept ourselves in check. And even to some extent, to today, there are certain forests that is being kept untouched because we fear what will happen when we go in there. I went to interview the Ashasi principal. And after the interview, we're standing in the balcony, and there's a hill across the school. And it's just every tree is being cut. And there's about 5-acre, thick forest just there. And all around this is bare. So I looked at him and I said, I bet there's a deity in there. He said, no, how did you get it? I said, because nobody's cut the trees. He said, yes, I wish the deity was all over the mountain so that he kept the trees. And so sometimes it works. So my concern is now that we have managed to shake off the fear of shame and have not fully cultivated the habit of guilt. How do we move forward as a people? Because life is about solving problems. Folks, someone donated a container to be used as a police station. I am told the minister who came to commission it, came in a Land Cruiser V8. The V8 could have bought 25 of that containers. No shame, no guilt. Folks, we have gotten to a stage where even if you talk about it, broadcast it, drum, get, Daniel Dazi and friends to jump and jig, we are not faced. That we should be very worried. We should be very concerned. Because then what is left? If I am not ashamed of my action, I don't feel guilty and I don't fear who on top of it. Pause for a minute. Folks, let's pause for a minute and see how we are solving our problems, or should I say, see how we are not solving our problems. Even with the benefit of hindsight. Folks, even problems that we have the benefit of hindsight. And you hear every day, IMS warned us, World Bank warned us, and next year you will see, between June 3rd and June 5th, there will be flooding and they will, flood the whole of Circle and people may lose their lives. Just next year, June, mark my words. Why? Because we couldn't dredge the odor, we couldn't dredge this, we couldn't do that. Even with the benefit of hindsight, because you know what? The people who are responsible will come there, on the same site where the incident happened, with their shoulders held high. no shame, no guilt, no fear. Chiefs, my own colleagues, who knew from ancestry that, you don't sell land, only the interest in lands will change it from stool lands to family lands and sell it. And won't even come and account to the people that, look, I got 10 CDs and this is what I'm going to do with it. Politicians who abuse their power, in your face, turn on their siren, kick you off the road, drive through the red light, and go and see their girlfriend. In your face. Religious leaders. I've just been sent a video by Captain Bodukumsin. And there's this religious idiot throwing this baby, a child, throwing the child violently. And there are sycophants around them all dancing. Religious leaders who mislead. And sometimes they even have money to broadcast what they are misleading. No fear, no shame, no guilt. Media houses, folks. 3 p.m. when the children have come from school, they put music videos on with naked or semi-naked people dancing, playing songs that are meaningless, nothing patriotic, nothing educative. Guess what? No fear, no shame, no guilt. We all live in this giant filth. Day in, day out, presidencies are making the cleanest country in Africa. So you know what? Thank God for English. I'm telling you. Thank God for English. Bro, you are home and dry. I'm telling you. I tell you, go and learn. Folks, but what will be the incentive, folks? What will be the incentive? Maybe, I don't know, there's a suggestion, maybe a wild one that will not fly, but maybe educational heads and religious heads should meet those who think for the nation, if we have any, so that the minds of the young ones will be shaped. And we should decide, are we going back to our culture of shame, or are we moving on to this culture of guilt? Because you have to have a culture. Why? Because you are solving problems. And from which angle are you going to solve the problem? And it's a major thing for the whole of Africa. And I can give you countless and countless and countless. Good luck, Jonathan, when 130 girls were abducted from Nigeria, another village was blown apart. He flew to France to go and solidarize with them because 7 people died in Charlie Hebdo. No shame, no guilt. Came back, still they couldn't find the daughter, the 130 girls, and shared gold-plated iPhones at the daughter's wedding. That is the consequences that we are facing. There are no ambulances in this country. And year in, year out, they import between 200 and 400 luxury Land Cruisers. Between 200 and 400 luxury Land Cruisers. Yet there are no ambulances. No one, they don't care. And it's not as if they drive it at night. They drive it broad daylight with blue and red light, penny, telling you, look, get out of the way. No guilt, no shame. So how are we going to solve our problems going forward? Life is about problems solving. Whether you like it or not, whether you're in Mars, heaven, America, wherever you are to solve problems. The only way you solve your problem is through the inherent culture that you have. So which one do we have to solve the problems facing us? And that's the issue on the table today. The number 0302 216 541. We going back to our old way of culture of shame, where they say they ask you what home you came from and not how much money you had in your pocket. Are we going back to those days? Or are we going the Western way, where we walk ourselves to the police station and say, oh, I'm sorry, I ran the red light yesterday, please arrest me. I said it was going to be deep and I needed your attention, so I want to say thank you very much for giving me the attention. So it's time for me to hear from you. I don't have all the answers. Send your WhatsApps to 0244 340 437. 0244 340 437. Send your WhatsApp there. And let's talk. The line is 0302 216 541. My name is Nana Ansah Kwao the fourth, and you tune in to another episode of That's My Opinion. But 1st of September is big. 12 noon, very big. I got Derek Mayer. Oh, Deck Mayer in Oyibi Deck. Oh, sorry. Hello, Deck Mayer.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening, big bro.
Yes, sir. Let me hear your take on this issue.
And please, kudos to your works.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
In fact, you've said a whole lot, and myself, I believe in what you're saying. But to just add a few.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Africans, we are caught in a web. I can only say that our people are totally confused. And they don't even know if they are going backwards or they are even adopting a Western culture. And which it needs everybody's intervention. So as in we all sitting down individually to think of ourselves, to see where we've gotten wrong and to see the right thing that we can do to begin to solve our problems. Because as you said earlier on, life is all about solving problems. And if the individual cannot know how to solve his problem and where to start it from, it's going to be very, very difficult. So these are little I can also contribute to. And God bless you too as well.
God bless you so much for tuning in and even calling in. God bless you even more. I'm going to Dodowa, where my good friend Okukru Buon Netei Kwesi Ajimai reigns. Dodowa, Samuel, talk to me.
Yeah, good evening, Nana.
Good evening, Samuel.
Thanks so much for your submission this evening.
Thank you too.
But our leaders, why do they take up political appointments or other appointments? Just to amass wealth, to fill their stomach and their family? Why? But we've come a long way. We need to change our attitude. That's long been overdue. We come to power, we just amass wealth. We don't solve problems. We are facing, there are a lot of problems in the country, and yet our leaders will not solve these problems. Thank you, Nana, for your submission.
Well, I thank you too, but I don't want to blame only the leaders. Just let's look at it holistically so that we can solve it rather than pinpoint. But I'm going to Dakuma because Ernest is there. Hello, Ernest.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, Nana.
Good evening, Ernest.
Yeah, Nana, you live long. I would want to contribute to the program, and before I continue, Dakuma here, drivers are doing their own thing on the road, jumping all over the road. There's no policeman here to control them, and everybody is just doing their own thing. Closer to Dakuman, Nyamiche Junction. Okay, to continue, Nana, I think this country, our leaders, I don't know. Did they really travel? They travel, they see all these nice things, but they don't do anything about it. Now, go to East Legon. They have done all the road around East Legon asphalt because that is where all of them are. NDC, MPP, they are all the same. They are all the same. A time is coming, all the youth, we are going to stand against all these political parties. We are no more going to take this thing from them. They should rise up as leaders and build this country to the status that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah has left with them. They should stop thinking about themselves. Nana, you will live long.
Thank you very much, Eugenia Sintim. Eddie says, Nana, we've lost it. Even the format for our traditional marriages have changed. The question is which house, the question of which house are you from is no longer applicable. But let us broaden it. I don't want us to say leaders, because Charlie, I don't know, it's bigger than leadership. So even though leaders, play a big role about it. Let me go to Koforidua. Salifu is there. Hello, Salifu. Yes, boy.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I agree with all what you have said this night. I just think that we do have a prominent person in Ghana where if something happens, that person will say, hey, stop, and everybody will stop. But I think that, Nana, I just admire you. Can you do a research in your institution, the chieftaincy institution, and come out with a research resource, how people come to your throne, how people become chiefs. I want to support you. If it is my one city, if your research institution can be established, I will support you. I come from the north, the three northern regions. I will support you so that we do the proper research. And that will solve the problem. Because if we have proper chiefs in place, look, Nana, what happened in Kibi? What was the resolution? What came out from that place? What was the message to the government? And yes, Nana Ofori at the fence. It's what he fought. And we want you, the government, to stand on it. So, Nana, I want you to establish a research institution about chieftaincy. And I will support you, even if it is one city from my pay every month. I will support you, Nana.
Thank you very much. In Kwabenya, Justice is there. Hello, Justice.
Hello, Nana.
Yes, boss. What's your take on this issue?
Nana, may you live long.
Thank you, boss.
Nana, as to whether our leaders are confused, as to whether our leaders are adopting the foreign culture or local culture, well, maybe it will be another thing to talk. Nana, my take this evening is about leaders and policies, and sometimes let me narrow it down to this education. Nana, you hear and know about this Nation Builders Corps that is ongoing. Nana, could you believe the number of people that is going into education? Yet we are just talking about licensing teachers, and no teacher should go into the classroom and license. Degree, diploma holders, some with educational background, yes, others without. Now, the one who went and did education 3 years and now has graduated must write a license exam. Either than that, is not qualified to enter the classroom. Nobody is saying that is not good. What about those that are finding their way in when this policy is being implemented? Now you ask yourself, is this focused or confused leaders?
We'll bring that topic one day for discussion. But on the phone now is Nana Kwame. Hello, Nana Kwame.
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
I hope you're good.
I am good, Nana. I want to hear your take on this. No fear, no culture.
Nana, you made a statement that we should not, you wanted us to talk not only about leadership. But Nana, it cannot be done without talking about leadership. Mm-hmm. In fact, who promulgates laws and ensures that you and myself and yourself, we follow through? Mm-hmm. When leadership is weak, the citizen will get opportunity to fool around. And this is what is happening. So when the laws are there and nobody is applying or making sure the laws are implemented, which I, from my own corner, cannot just get up and go and implement, then we can still look up to leadership. And the problem in Ghana, I would always say, is about leadership. We haven't got it. I mean, can you just, in Europe, you create your own company with your own money, you collapse it, and investigators carry it out. If it is found out that the way you collapse it was through your negligence, you are put in prison. What do we find in Ghana? It is not like that. Even when we put government money into your company, you squander it. I mean, people are walking the street. So it's all about leadership. And until our leaders begin to say, this is how it should go, Nana, you get up every Monday evening. We'll be sitting here listening to you. And, I mean, there's nothing going to come out of it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Kisi is in New Ningo. Hello, Kisi.
Yeah, Nana, good evening.
Good evening, Kisi.
Yeah, thanks so much, Nana. You are doing a great job for Mother Ghana. Nana, but I believe sometimes, especially our politicians, okay, the leaders, I don't know whether they don't listen or they don't learn. Yes, that's the word I have. They don't learn. Okay? They say the tree that Anansi sat under and got bent. Okay, someone in Tikuma will not just go and sit under that. In Tikuma sat under and got bent. Anansi will just not go there and go and sit down and he also get bent. Please, they don't listen. Tell them your good friend Nana Kukurubo Dodowa is ready to give the government a huge land, okay, to build this chapel that they want to build. Yourself, your good self, Nana Ansah Kwao, okay, you are ready to give them a land. They should, if you want to do everything in Accra, why wouldn't every one of us wouldn't want to come to Accra and come and do? So Accra will be just congested. Look at the chapel or whatever natural cathedral. Look at this vantage area in the rate. Just going to destroy almost everything over there, and then you build what? Please, let's decongest Accra for everybody to live outside Accra. I was born, bred, and battered in Accra. Now I'm living in Ningo, and Ningo is very good. You have a huge land. Please, government, listen to Ghanaians.
Thank you very much. Government listening to Kisi, and I agree with you. The whole Ghana is not Accra. So I agree with you, my brother. I nearly did a show on that, but we switched. Let me go to Wager. Jonathan is there. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Yeah. Nana, thank you so much for this.
Have I got you?
You know, like we've lost it in a way that I think we should blame the church. We should blame religion. Every week, this is where we get the gathering. And if leadership at church can really turn towards, how to tame us, how to really get the sense of helping each other to bring up the nation to where we want it, I think that is where we can forge ahead and then make a way for. But what don't we see at church? It's all about now money, 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 money. And why do you think we are where we are? It is because the church has got the foundations wrong. For me, I think let's get back to the basics at church, and then things will be right for us in this country. Thank you for your good work.
Thank you very much. This is from Kay, all the way in Minnesota, has won against my good old brother Lexus. And I'm glad you're talking about profanity in the media. Right there on Joy earlier on today on Lexus' show, there was a list of options he read out to his guests to make selections from, and some were a bit below the belt because the kids may be listening to. There must be censorship and what constitutes a joke. But good job, Nana, listening live from Minnesota. And that was K to my brother Lexus. Some of your positions, Lexus. Prince in Abokobi. Hello, Prince.
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
And I think you have said all. Thank you so much for your program. And I don't know whether our leaders and the people in Ghana do appreciate what you are doing. The point is that people are lawless. If you go in front of law school right now, there are those from Pema, they always park there and load. And you will see police people come there every day to arrest them. And they will still be there. So I wonder whether they prosecute them or not. And just in front of the same place, those who sweep, they just sweep into the gutters. And sometimes I wonder, sometimes I pass there and I get there and I question people, and they are like, is it your place? Is it your home? Those who are selling on the roadside always drink sachet water and put it in the gutters. And I wonder whether people are not seeing them. So my problem is that it's not always about the leaders. It's about the people too. What are we doing?
We have to be groomed differently. Thanks, Nana. If we are principled enough as individuals to do the right, whether we are being watched or not, a lot of our problems will be solved. This is Da Ami. And then Chairman is Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Yes, hello, Nana.
Yes, boss. Let me hear you.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
You know, this country, we've lost it. even from the basic, from the family setup. Right now, everybody thinks about himself or herself. So even when it comes to the leadership, though they are there to guide us and, tell us what we should do, they think about it first. If whatever they are going to do is not going to benefit them, they will not think about any other person. If they're going to get the kickback, forget it, they won't give it to you. And even the family system, everybody's thinking about himself. You have a family where there are some people who are well that can help others to push the family up. Think about just their children. And in this country, everybody just so concerned about what can get today. You see, when these people get to work, all they think about is, how come I cannot be able to bring home? Even in the churches, the pastors don't think about how they should preach the gospel, how they can preach to people so that the people will change their bad ways. They are already thinking about how much I'm going to get from the service. And all these things are going on. We see them every day, every time, but we are afraid. We don't talk about it. When you talk about it as a youth, they say you don't respect. What do you know? We don't give chance to the young ones to feel free and talk to the elderly people that, no, you're supposed to direct us. Look at where you are going. Nobody is listening to us. Sometimes I become frustrated when I listen to your program. I don't know what we are going to do. Who is going to listen to you?
We'll keep talking, but right there in East Legon is John Tay. John Tay says, good evening, Nana. You said you're not well versed in this area of discussion. I beg to differ. Your points are so valid. Our people are so seduced by the defective logic of the system. It's almost as if some have lost their sense of touch and reason. We have no sense and feel of shame at all. A politician who is even supposed to be politically correct opens their mouth and spews unsavory comments and still feels no sense of shame, to the point that they have the urge to maintain their unreasonable stance. Rarely will our people resign over misconduct. They would rather wait to be sacked. We all need a total reformatting as a people. East Legon. That's John Tay. Thank you for that message. I was going to North Kaneshi. Malik was waiting in North Kaneshi, but 0302 216 541. This one says, no, it's a serious matter. If we can't change the person in the mirror when we stand in front of it, we can't change anything. Our mindset is bad. Can't we as individuals change the little things like jumping the red light? What can a leader change in you? God bless. And this is from Ninette. Okay, let me go to Osu. Timo is waiting. Hello, Timo.
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for this interesting submission. But my take is that as a nation, the problem is not about the leadership alone. It's about the citizens. There's no sense of discipline as of now. You look at modern Ghana today and the Ghana of our forefathers, the era of our fathers, there's a big difference. Totally big difference. Indiscipline everywhere. And what baffles me is that people who have had some level of formal education, you see them just littering anyhow. Another time, there was a gutter just by my wall. I came out and an elder person had skipped the gutter to pee on my wall. When I confronted him, he was rather using abusive language on me, telling me, do I know who he is? Is it where we've got into as a people? So basically, it's not only about the leadership. Come to think of it, before they got to leadership position, they were just part of us. They were like us. We put them there. So the value system, like you said, there's no sense of shame, no sense of guilt. So it's about the total mentality of the Ghanaian today. Yes.
Well, if you're just joining us, I'm just saying that, as a people, once upon a time, we had a great sense of shame, and that's how we were guarded in everything. That's how we solved our problems. And because people who are ashamed could commit crime in the dark and you wouldn't see, our forefathers put clauses in there, like you don't go to sea on Tuesday. And before you can sneak to sea and they won't see, they said, look, if you go there, you will see the sea goddess. And nobody wanted to see the sea goddess, so we didn't go. And now, we switched on and sort of imitated the West, who had more a culture of guilt. They will go to sea on Tuesday, come to the police station, oh, I did wrong, I went to sea on Tuesday, punish me. And so we are hanging in the balance. We have no shame, we have no guilt. And every human race is all about solving problems. And you solve problems with the culture you have, whether guilt or shame. And we have neither. And so how do we confront our problems going forward? Reginald in Kwashiman.
Yes, Nana, good evening.
Good evening.
Sometimes we have solutions, but the problem is who to go and see and speak to. Now, for example, you have traffic lights, and it's about time we have a call center where, with every traffic light, there should be a certain call number written on it, even on the curbs, the metal curbs by the streets. Sometimes cars just knocks the curbs away and nobody is held responsible. Traffic lights are knocked down, nobody is held responsible. But if there are call center numbers put on traffic lights, so that in case of someone knocks the traffic light down or in case the traffic light is faulty, you can call that number, can take a picture, send it by WhatsApp. We are in an age of technology. Some department should, start something. But even if a department is not ready to do it and an individual is ready to do it, who is going to pay for it? Or who is going to, take care of it? There's a lot that can be done, but, sometimes you look at it and it's like, who is going to fund the cost of helping? Who is going, because whatever you want to do, there's still a cost factor that goes into it.
It will all happen if we have a sense of shame and if we have a sense of guilt, because if the guy running the red light has no shame and guilt, and the policeman who was supposed to act also is not ashamed not to act, has no guilt not to do his work, it's a big problem and it's a big conversation that I hope we start. But I told you down to, write the 1st of September down. I hope you wrote it down. 12 p.m. Trinity Baptist Church, Oasis House, right opposite UPS, is Women's Call to Worship. Standpoint is 10 years old. Can you believe it? The Standpoint is 10 years old. And every year they celebrate Women's Call to Worship. And the theme is A Grateful Heart, a woman on the move. A Grateful Heart, a woman on the move. And the guest speaker is Reverend Dr. Frank Ofosu Apia. And he's the ambassador of hope. I'm told he's the ambassador of hope. Musicians, there's Selena Boateng, Cynthia Macaulay, Puadiwa, there's Nanaya Usua, who's a poet, and it's Becky Bonnie, Willie and Mike, and so it promises to be a great time. But let me go to Tema and speak to Ajimai. Hello, Ajimai.
Nana, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, another wonderful talk.
Great.
Nana, I can see the difference between the position of now and that of yesteryears is because of fear. Now, because of the computer, we are not afraid of anything. Example, in the olden days, our parents would tell us that when you are taking a bath, you shouldn't think. When you think you are going to die. It's not, literally means you are going to die, but they are using the death to be something to scare you. And now, because of civilization, so-called computerized age, we don't fear anything. This to be eye-opening to that much that we can do whatever we like. And if discipline comes to it, we are not afraid of anything. And if the ministers will go to foreign lands and come and start in America, in the UK, when you do this, when you jump red lights, and you do this, this thing is going to happen to you. How do they bring on board here to work perfectly for us?
So we are not afraid of anything. That's why we are doing things just like that.
That's why I was just trying to figure out that going forward, what do we do? Do we go back to shame and fear culture, or do we inculcate a guilt culture in the new generation? Then because we need to solve our problems, and we must solve the problem coming from some angle. So what do we do now? Because we can't just be empty. We have to do something about it. This one says, good evening, Nana. In this country, God can give you an IQ above 100. Trust me, by the time you turn 30, you'll be having an IQ below 20 and definitely be unemployed. The society is the problem. Daniel is in Kwashiman. Let me speak to Daniel.
Yes, Nana.
Yes.
I can't just tell what we are doing to ourselves. We sold our soul to things outside this world. We are no more African. When you speak to your child today, he's doing something that is different. And gone are those days that your father will say, hey, don't do this. And you don't do it. At this time, your child will tell you, my teacher says this is right. Yes. The teacher will tell you, my teacher says this is right. And we are following it. Look at what is happening today. For me, I only pray that Ghana will move from where we want to be, not building national cathedral. Because we belong to Muslim world, traditional world, and the Christian world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that was another episode of That's My Opinion. In the absence of shame and guilt, how do we solve our problems? But it's a problem. We, the taxpayers, put money in a pot, and instead of the government buying ambulance, they buy luxury cars. You talk about it, they buy more. And they don't even hide it in our face. No guilt, no shame. But it's a problem. So how do we solve it? And that's the conversation I want to bring on board. We need 2 million houses just to balance, just to get homeless people off the road. We need 2 million houses today. However, there's no plan for family planning. It will be out to me, you can just give birth 8, 10, no problem. There's no plans for family planning. How do we solve it? The guy who is giving birth is not ashamed and is not guilty. So it goes deep. So it's a conversation that I want you to continue. But while you are continuing, and then you remember the Women Call to Worship, it's Saturday, 1st September 2018, 12 p.m. sharp. Trinity Baptist Church, Oasis House, right opposite UPSA. And be there. Willie and Mike will be there. Becky Bonnie is going to be there. And it's going to be a fun, feel spiritually charged atmosphere. And I will be there. But thank you very much. Until next Monday that I come to you with a different opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you even more. God bless you for calling. News Bulletin is up next. And then Sammy Forcing will come and overdrive you while you are debating as to whether we still have a culture of shame or we have a culture of guilt or neither.
Joy headline news at 8, live from digital address GA0993341. Coming up, former Finance Minister Professor Kwesi Boche to file complaint to National Executive Committee after some, quote, faceless individuals picked up chairmanship forms on his behalf. Also, Employment Committee of Parliament demands immediate payment of severance package for workers of the 5 dissolved banks. I am Komla Adam, and here are the details. Former Finance Minister Professor Kwesi Butchie has denied reports he has picked forms to contest the national chairmanship